Hi guys.
Hi guys, I recently went to Kew Gardens, which is a world-famous botanical garden in southwest London in England. It's located in Kew, Richmond, and the botanical garden has over 300 acres of land. It's a World Heritage Site, home to the largest and most diverse collection of living plants in the world, and plays a major role in global plant conservation and climate change research. There was a lot to see, and I want to share it all with you. I saw famous features including the Palm House, Princess of Wales Conservatory, and my favourite parts of exploring. So follow along in the series to see more. Look at all these bananas. Oh my gosh. So I was just walking and I noticed this massive banana tree. And fun fact about myself is that I really love bananas. Scientists are breeding new disease-resistant varieties of bananas. And in the UK, we eat around 5 billion bananas every year, which is usually the Cavendish banana type. These don't have any seed and can only be grown from cuttings, which means the new plants are all clones, which are genetically identical to the original plant. Looking at it, it's called banana mousse ice cream. Not sure if that's like a variety specific thing, but it's so impressive to see the banana leaves and it's just surrounding it everywhere. It's really cool. These seem to be more banana, I'm guessing because of the weight of it and the direction it wants to lean to, which is to the left. They're held by a rope attachment, which is secured to a pole within the building, and that just helps support the structure of the plant. This is a Monstera. I have this plant and it looks so massive and so healthy here, and it looks so luscious. Like if you go all the way down to the floor, you can see it. Looks really nice. Look how extensive the roots are of this Monstera. It's insane. It's just so much roots. So it actually looks like the Monstera plant, which is all the way over here, going right to the top, all the way over there, hasn't grown towards the bottom. And that's probably because in the wild, they do climb on other trees, growing upwards towards the sunlight. There must have been some roots and plants at the bottom and they're growing upwards. So this is a bamboo plant. The specific species is this. And as you can tell, it's so much thicker and so luscious at the top. If I put my hands around it, I can't even make it through. It's very thick and very hollow. It's very sturdy as well. So I'm assuming it must be an older plant or very well established. So here you can see there's bamboo that's been chopped and it's producing a shoot. So this must have grown very tall, and it seems like it was dense in this area. They probably cut it down and therefore still promoting growth, and so it will grow back over time. So this massive leaf, for comparison, my hand size and the leaf is insane. Very massive. And it's called Leucocasia gigantea. And it is, as the name says, insanely massive. If I do a 0.5 on my hand comparison. So this plant over here, which I'm not too familiar with the name, it's not labeled, they're grafting it. So what they've probably done here is put some moss, damp moss, at a node and have left it in the dark, coloured in dark wrapping, which will promote root growth. And once in a few months it's grown roots, they'll cut that area maybe around there, and this will become a whole new plant. And they're doing the same again right above here, above my head. I think that's really cool to see. So this has been done 3 months ago. So I'm assuming they do come and check up on it and see if there's roots produced. You can see over there, that is a node that could have produced some aerial roots. So the plant that they were propagating and possibly grafting is called Inga osteodiana. Hello. Right here. So Kew's seed bank is one of the largest seed bank, and they have wild botanical garden in the West Sussex with 2.5 billion seeds from more than 40,000 species safely stored, and it's one of the most biodiverse places on earth. Every one of the 103,000 separate seed collections in the seed bank is a testament of the collaboration and the determination. And this is probably a very extensive process where they have to ensure that the seed is of a good quality and it's managed well, such as planting it and digging it, from collecting the seed to planting it and partnering with people on the field and planting it in their native environments. So they have a team of seed collectors that harvest during the collection, and they did so in Sweden in partnership with Nordgen, and just working with many other students, like PhD students and scientists in germinating. Wait, is this a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma?
Yeah,
oh my god, wow, this is one of my dream plants. Like, I actually want to get it because of just the unique shape of the leaf. Like, if you look at it, it's just so unique and so nice. Like, and seeing it grow in a conservatory is really cool because it doesn't even need a moss pole, because this tree is acting as a moss pole. As you can see, the roots are wrapped on it and is using it for stability and security, and it's able to grow up and tall as the tree, and it has grown past the tree. That's so cool. Very impressive. So the ebony is used for cabinet making, and it's a decorative inlay used in musical instruments and even sports equipment, and it's an extremely attractive and valuable wood. It's difficult to work with but produces a glossy finish as beautiful and hard as polished stone. And many species have a familiar jet black hotwood, but the most commercially important one is the evergreen tree native to the rainforests of India and Sri Lanka. It's extraordinarily expensive, and the demand for ebony continues to be high and has resulted in an increasing need for sustainable management and conservation of its native habitat. And did you know that it's used for black keys on pianos? This is a wish-fulfilling tree according to Hindu mythology. Banyan trees symbolize eternal life, protection and immortality, largely because of their incredible ability to expand endlessly through aerial roots that become new trunks. These giants can truly be mind-blowing in scale. While they don't grow 200 meters tall, some banyans can spread across over 200 meters in diameter, making them the widest trees on Earth, and reach heights of 20 to 30 meters tall. One single tree can look like an entire forest. Banyan trees are a wildlife magnet and an ecological superstar. Their figs are produced all year round, providing a constant food source for birds, bats, monkeys, squirrels, and countless insects. And so many species depend on them, making them a keystone species. They're also culturally and economically important. Their barks and leaves have traditional values to make natural dyes, and the tree is a source of shellac, which is a natural resin used in polishes and varnishes. Welcome to the Princess of Wales Conservatory at Kew Gardens, which was opened by Diana, Princess of Wales herself, and is home to an incredible variety of plants from all around the world. In the dry areas, cacti and succulents show how plants survive even in harsh environments with very little water. Their spines and thick leaves are perfectly adapted to store water and survive extreme heat. In the wet areas, orchids and bromeliads and rainforest plants grow tall and lush, thriving in warm, humid conditions. Some of the plants here are carnivorous, with Venus flytraps shutting in less than a second and pitcher plants luring insects into their traps to get nutrients. The water areas are home to giant water lilies with leaves of almost 3 meters wide, floating like a green island. Beneath them, tropical fish swim gracefully. A little bit of history. In 1985, Sir David Attenborough buried a time capsule in the foundation of the conservatory. It contains seeds of basic food crops and endangered species, and it will be opened in 2085, when some of these plants may be rare or even extinct. So these look like various different species of cacti, and they look very plump, like I almost want to squeeze it. It's probably because of the water retention, I'm assuming. And I love how they structured it with gravel and some big boulders, and just making and setting the scene so perfectly. They've landscaped this perfectly well. It looks really, really impressive. As you can see, that looks to have flowered quite recently. And there seems to be one flowering right there, actually. Ooh, I think those are one of the plant species I want to get. These are one of the few cactus I do want to own. I think they propagate by splitting apart in the middle, and they're quite funny looking in my opinion, and they come in different color varieties. I'm not particularly sure if it's the exact same species, but I'll have a look. Again, it looks something similar like this, where they propagate from the middle. So reading this note, it says that the small pots hanging from the plants contain predatory mites which will hunt and eat the pests, which keeps the plants happy and healthy. And I can imagine they must have a lot of potential pests. It's so massive to see this place. And so let's see if we can spot some of the mites and predatory. So I think these are one of the hanging baskets they have, which have predatory mites, which will act as pest control. As you can imagine, they probably need quite a lot for this size of environment. They have really cool aloe vera species. I almost missed this, but I've never seen this. It's from Somalia as well. And then they have more species over there, which I'm assuming is kind of near the standard species of aloe. Again, I'm assuming this is an aloe. It's such a unique looking aloe because it almost looks as if it's floating off the ground, but it is connected to the plant over there. So this over here is actually an aloe. I was just looking at it slightly closer and I was like, those look like aloes. It's called a climbing aloe. I had no idea aloes would climb upwards, and it almost looks as if it's like a full-on tree, which is really, really impressive because it's really thick. So this must be a really old plant. Wow. So this is the plant right here. And just look how it's grown. It's just twisting and turning. And if you look all the way over here, one comes over here. Then there's one that goes all the way there. Still continues and ends over there. And it's just so cool to see. Like, you can't grab this plant in one section. Like, it starts from, the base is right there and it's from there to all the way over here. It's just so cool to see. So this is a killer vegetable, which is an everyday garden plant and some carnivorous potential. These are unlikely carnivorous and are able to attract and trap insects but cannot immediately digest them. So scientists from Kew and Natural History Museum have discovered that plants such as petunias, potatoes and tomatoes are carnivorous. These plants have sticky hairs on their leaves that trap and kill insects. Although the plant is unable to directly ingest the insects, it's suggested that they may absorb vital nutrients from the corpse when it falls onto the ground and decomposes it on the soil. That's such an interesting fact to learn. So this is the name of the plant species. So this is a Candelilla gallito and it looks so unique. It comes from New Mexico. It almost looks as if like hairs, like I don't know how to do, like pencils, although they do seem to be growing thick in some areas. And it just looks like it's like overgrown this whole entire area. And it's so unique to see because we've never really cared for cacti like that, but it is really nice to see this and observe it. And oh yeah, look, it's even growing upwards and over there, which is really cool to see. It's growing alongside all the materials here. So they also have water plants here, like an indoor plant, and I think I spotted a catfish over there. Oh look, there's two. They might come through. And that is, I believe, an elephant plant here. And it's really, really beautiful. And look how big the lilies look. They look massive compared to this lily over here. And just the different varieties of lilies. And amongst the middle of it, they have an island of a plant. It just looks so cool and so impressive. So this right here is the world's smallest water lily, which I never knew was a thing. Oh, and if you can see, they have small little fish over here. Tiny, tiny little fish. And that's potentially because they also have massive fish as well. That looks like an ID shark to me. I am, again, not too sure. In 1929, Minerva Hamilton Hoyt's display of cacti and succulent at the RHS Chelsea Flower Show created an international sensation. At the close of the show, Hoyt donated the display to Kew, making this display of cacti and succulents the oldest Chelsea Flower Show exhibit still in existence. Hoyt was a tireless campaigner for exotic and strangely beautiful plants of desert of Southern California. In the early 1920s, shocked by the destruction through clearing and overcollection, she mounted several flower show exhibitions to promote the preservation of desert landscapes. Such was her persistence that in 1936 the US president created the Joshua Tree National Park, conserving 3,200 kilometers of desert landscape. As well as giving her a display of Kew, Hoyt generously gave enough money to build the Sherman Hoyt Cactus House. By 1983 this house needed replacing, and in 1987 when Princess of Wales Glass House opened, Hoyt's display was rehoused here. We remember Hoyt as an early pioneer of the conservation movement. So this is a common caper, and look how massive it gets. It's a succulent that most people might actually have in their house, and it's just massive. As a size comparison, you can see it's bigger than my hand. It's really cool to see, and it's from the Mediterranean, which I never knew. So this plant is actually a plant that I have at home, and it's actually my mum's plant. So she's had it for 30 years and it smells really, really minty and really refreshing. And we never knew it was an edible plant. And it's just so cool to see it here. So this is another plant that we all have in our house, which is a Zebrina, and seeing it in Kew Gardens is quite nice because look how luscious and how it's kind of overtaken this whole area, and not just the ground, it has started to climb upwards. Today at Kew Gardens I spotted some fascinating air plants in the Princess of Wales Conservatory. These are Tillandsia, commonly known as air plants. What makes them unusual is that they don't need soil to grow in. Instead they attach themselves to trees, rocks or even cacti like here. In their natural habitats across South America, many species grow in mountain environments where rainfall is limited. Rather than relying on heavy rain, they survive by absorbing moisture directly from the air, especially from fog rolling in from the ocean. Their leaves are covered in tiny structures called trichomes, which help them capture water and nutrients from the air. It's an incredible adaptation that allows them to thrive in places where many other plants would struggle. Seeing them here at Kew shows how diverse and creative plant survival strategies can be, and personally it is a plant that I do want to own. I've seen so many cool decorations of air plants in homes and I'm just scared to purchase one, but I will do very soon, so follow along for the journey. Silver plants, I believe that's the name, which I will not attempt to pronounce, but it looks so metallic. It's an unrealistic plant, like it doesn't even look like a real plant. And in fact, it seems as if like the underside of these plants are purple. This silver plant is so cool. So this area has quite a lot of plants that have unique leaf shapes. Like looking at them, they look very, very different to typical leaf. And I really like this. It's probably the white that's making the leaf. So this is a chocolate peppermint, which is really cool. I wonder if it smells like anything. So I'm just gonna rub the leaf a little without damaging it. Oh my gosh, it actually does smell like, oh, I can see the chocolate scent in it. It does smell pepperminty as well. That's really cool. So this is a temperate carnivorous area. It seems to have quite a lot of plants, although they seem quite dead or maybe out of the season. I'm not too sure. It is much colder in temperature here, but it's so cool to see all of this, all of these plants. An interesting fact is they actually don't feed the carnivorous plants. They keep some of the windows open, and so insects will naturally come in, and then that's how they'll be fed, which is really, really interesting considering that they do have a lot of carnivorous plants that probably need a lot of insects to come in for them to be satiated and grow. So here, these carnivorous plants look quite alive and they look so impressive.